Well, you guys wanted it. I've gotten dozens of requests for friendship as Witchcraft, so I guess I have no choice but to oblige you guys, as much as I really don't want to, for multiple reasons. The first of all is that Friendship as Witchcraft is an ongoing series and outside my area of expertise. I'll try to do the best I can, but make note that the last episode released at the time of writing was Seed No Evil. Keep that in mind if anything miraculously happens to change in episode 10, though I doubt it. The other reason I didn't want to do this is because I think that it sucks. I think that it sucks a lot. Hear me out, and I'll try to do a better job to explain my problems than, say, the voice of reason. Yeah, I know that my opinion is pretty unpopular, and I do expect this to be one of my most hated videos. I'll say this. I have one real problem with this abridged series. Fine, I have one real problem with this parody. Actually, I have a lot of them, but they all have a similar root. I don't find this funny, in the slightest. Watching all 9 episodes, I didn't even crack a smile at once. At best, the episodes bored me. More often than not, they annoyed me. But at worst...
I always wanted my own brother, and then he showed up at our door. I didn't question where he came from. I wasn't lonely anymore.
Excuse me for a moment. We'll get to that later. First, I suppose I should talk about the characters, or lack thereof. Friendship as Witchcraft has a similar problem to Johnny Test, in that each of the characters are one-note assholes. I said that Witchcraft got their Rainbow Dash inspiration from G3, you know, because they both say rainbow a lot.
It wasn't until my very first dash that I rainbowed a rainbow me to dash. And Pikachu! Pikachu!
Looking back, I don't think that's true because G3 Rainbow Dash has more of a personality than Witchcraft Dash.
All of us have some depth to our characters.
I don't.
Pointing out your problems does not make them go away. It's one thing if you want to flanderize Rainbow's egotism to a comedic degree, but just having her say Rainbow and Dash verbatim is, how do I want to put this? Lazy. You know, like making Fluttershy an evil cult leader. Sometimes. That plot thread seems to have died in the later episodes. So you turn the kindest character into the most evil. How long did it take you guys to think of that? No, seriously. That is one of the most cliched ways to pervert a character. Sure, it could work, but you've got to put a creative twist on it. I don't know, make her passive-aggressive, a dominatrix. Use her patty cake's personality, I don't care. Just straight-up evil is lazy. Next we have Twilight, who is a straight-up asshole, who writes fanfiction, and desires incest.
It's not creepy.
Yes it is! Yes it fucking is! Sorry, back on track. The whole Twilight as an asshole thing has been done before, and done better in Letters of a Disgruntled Friendship Student. Why? Because in that series, it gives her bitterness a reason, and directs it there while lampshading the more ludicrous parts of the episode. Kind of what a parody is supposed to do. And that brings us to Spike, who is abused constantly. Do you know why SpongeBob's Squidward torture porns aren't funny? I mean, besides the toenail and eye gore. It's because he doesn't deserve it. Or at the very least, our sympathies lie with him. If you want abuse towards a character to be funny, you've got to make them unlikable, like the uber-politically correct Fluffy and Uranus from Duckman. Why don't you take a tip from the Mentally Advanced series? Their butt monkey is Fluttershy, and it actually works because they up her introverted tendencies to the point where it's annoying, and you just want her to stop. But let's disregard that for a moment because half of the time they don't even get the abuse right. We need to hear an impact. Slapstick is about cause and effect. If there's no impact, it's like a joke without a punchline. Rarity and Applejack go hand in hand. Rarity is a war-scarred veteran and Applejack is a war criminal. But once again, these plot threads seem to be disappearing. That's really all there is to them. Well, besides Rarity's obsession over big hats. Most of the time it seems like they're using the same personality twice. Finally we have Pinky, who starts out as completely sane and then devolves into an orphan and a gypsy.
Gypsy? I'm not a gypsy. I'm a pastry chef.
Right. First of all, making Pinky the most sane is just about as lazy as making Fluttershy evil. It's the first thing you think about when changing up their personalities. But I say devolve because you need to have a straight mare to play off all of the weirdness. One character playing off all of the insanity around her is much funnier than just having constant crazy all the time. There are minor characters too, so I'll touch on them really quickly. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon are Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon with brain damage. Celestia is a non-entity, and Shining Armor, or as they call him Francis Armor, because I don't know, has a voice that makes my ears bleed.
It's so important. The military is enforcing a strict friend zone.
It's a tip. Don't put your mouth on the microphone when you record. Scootaloo and Appaloon seem to be lacking in any personality at all, and Sweetbelle is a robot. But no one notices because as we've learned from a pal for Gary, making characters blind to the obvious is comedy gold. It's time to talk about the humor, and here is where Witchcraft really falls apart with me.
It's so steep. Well, it is a steep deep thing.
If there's one thing I could tell them, just one solitary thing, stop using running jokes. You're not good at it. The perfect swarm is 14 minutes long, and in that 14 minutes, we hear eye candy 6 times and see rose watering flowers 5 times. They mesh together and become annoying really quickly, especially because eye candy doesn't make any fucking sense. How? Seriously, tell me how. You can make a better argument that it's supposed to reference how the ponies say any pony or some pony, which is never used for comedy in the actual show because it's not funny. Furthermore, if someone doesn't know what you're referencing, then it should not be distracting, like Fluttershy disguising herself as a tree. Here, it's distracting to the nth degree. As for referencing all running jokes in cartoons, Friendship is Witchcraft does that itself with its mere existence. Each episode has another running joke that they hammer into the ground more than Bubsy. Yeah, I went there. Whether it be Disco Fever, changing the elements, censoring apples, or that fucking wah-wah trumpet.
Was not a map.
You can.
I'm so loyal.
Oh, that's right. The dragon's my father. But I was ashamed to.
Dash.
2% uncooler.
Welcome.
Let me tell you, if I hear that fucking wah-wah trumpet one more time, I will slit my fucking wrists. Through 9 episodes, I counted 31 fucking wah-wah trumpets, and God knows I missed a few. If they have another staple, let's call it, it's lampshading things.
Watch how far I can slide. Well, look how high I can jump.
Look, I did a thing. Laugh, damn it.
Cloud. Stick.
Look, it's a thing. Laugh, damn it. Speaking of that, you don't need to fill in every second with noise. Most of all, though, they like pointing out their own flaws, which pisses me off to no end.
Oh look, our characters are so malevolent and heartless. Maybe next we'll hear a new cheap catchphrase.
Moonshine gravy.
Yeah, what I'm doing is wrong, and I know it's wrong, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. It's not funny, it's pretentious. Also, a parody is supposed to playfully and not sadistically mock whatever it's parodying.
This way. I'm not some Christmas special martyr here to make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We just watched Gremlins in an episode of Star Trek and went straight to bed.
You do know that pointing out a reference instantly makes it bad, right?
Getting all these instruments to make a one-woman band and lead the Paris Sprites out of town.
To their credit, their failures in comedy are rather varied.
I'm American.
I don't think you understand what a punchline is. There's potential for a joke there, but you need to have some grounding in logic. You are implying that Americans don't eat apples. I'm sorry, but I don't see the joke there. Their friendship letters seem to miss the point of parody as well. Try this. Dear Princess Celestia, today I've learned that if my friends have been kidnapped, I shouldn't worry because they can handle themselves. I said that they could handle themselves.
Doomed, I tell you.
I said that they could handle themselves. I don't think you understand what a visual gag is. You can't just put random images there with no connection. Look, I can do that too. They also like to hold on jokes for way too long.
Father who left me to fend for myself in the frozen tundra with nothing but a hatchet and a length of rope.
I'm gonna spare you an unfunny 40 fucking seconds and move on to the next thing. The most notable example of that is being at the end of Nay's Soul Sister, where they do it twice and take a card from the Showstoppers and try to assault our ears. At least the Showstoppers had the decency to come up with their own lyrics. I guess that I should move on to the songs instead of digging up each failed joke because I could really go on all day. I'll say this. The songs are usually the best part of this abridged series, with a few exceptions, and yes, Pinky's Brew is awesome.
I don't think you understand. I bring darkness to their land. That must be my supremacy.
Question. Why are you singing with a mouthful of Novocaine? Look, I could say that a corpse isn't dead all day, but no matter how many fucking times I do, it's not gonna start moving.
That was the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
Huh, you know what? Pointing out that it was creepy suddenly made it not creepy. Oh wait, no it didn't. It's creepy just like the rest of the episode. I hate bodily humor, i.e. jokes involving pus, sex, or shit, because they are all basically the same, and they all fail in pretty much the exact same way. People think that just having it there is enough to be funny. No, just because you have shit, or in this case incest, doesn't mean it's funny. If you're going to use bodily humor, you've got to take it to creative new places, like this.
Shit at you. A huge supply of teach comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat.
Just showing vanilla incest isn't funny, it's fucking disgusting. The worst part is that there's potential for comedy that they don't seem to want to use.
You're such a baby. I have a great relationship with both of my parents because they...
You sure about that? You can go on to tell us how much they love you by repeatedly tell you to get a job and get your own place and get out of their lives.
Well, it ain't so bad if you pretend it's chocolate. Ugh, stop eating it.
And then she finds out it's not chocolate, or mud.
Applejack! Rarity! It's me, Twilight Sparkle, your friend!
And she's going to try to kill you! Why don't you have the characters actually react to the commercial? Or, I don't know, do something like this.
3 months of winter. And awesome.
Gak in the dark!
But the
Gak!
we've stored is running out, and we can't get in this cold. Time to welcome
Gakoids!
and all things warm and
Gak!
but it's also time to say
Gak attack!
'cause tomorrow's
Gak back!
is here.
I see, you're making fun of Hasbro's copyright takedowns by censoring completely random objects, when instead you could take a tip from the Nostalgia Critic and his Tommy Wiseau show. You know, instead of making you seem like the idiot, you can make Hasbro seem like the idiot. The worst jokes, though, are not the lazy ones, not the incomplete ones, but the tasteless ones. And we get to that when we come to Seed No Evil. Specifically, I'm talking about them making fun of Snowdrop. First of all, I don't think we needed to see the whole fucking thing. Secondly, that was really uncalled for. I don't know if they got Sleepy Studios' permission to mercilessly make fun and pervert their work, because that's what they did. Remember, a parody series is supposed to play with the flaws of something, not just shamelessly shove it out into the limelight.
Everybody hates working with Snowblind, and we talk about her behind her back.
It just doesn't seem like Witchcraft's heart was in the right place, if you catch my drift.
Oh, sure. I'll bet that this is all in good fun.
They don't parody things, they make fun of them. You know, like that college humor animation My Little Brony. So how bad do I find this? Well past the point where I'm wondering why people actually like it. I'm actually genuinely curious. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing. If you like it, that's fine. After all, these are my opinions, and in my opinion, it always reaches for the cheap shots and the cheap jokes, and instead of improving their comedy, to their credit, they have reduced using running jokes, so I guess that's something. Oddly enough though, their 2 latest episodes were the worst yet. So yeah, I can safely say that I'm not a fan of Friendship is Witchcraft. If you need me, I'll be hiding in my reinforced bunker waiting for the shitstorm.